Well, generally the consensus, right, is more videos per day. Shoppable videos, so like tagged with the product, is going to perform better, right? Just because it's sending more signal to TikTok saying, hey, this product is like having a moment, like people are talking about it. And so then they're going to push that to more people, and your GMV max will run more efficient.
Fernando, like if somebody's like, all right, I think I have a product that can do well, you've crushed it on TikTok Shop. So walk me through, like, we've got a new brand owner. They want to do well at TikTok Shop. It's an ever evolving platform, but as of today, what would be your recommendations for somebody that's just trying to get started and get some momentum on TikTok Shop?
Yeah, it's a great question. Yeah, so and this is assuming that we've already like looked at the we've already looked at the product and we've decided it's worth it, or are you including that step
Yeah,
too?
let's say that we think it's worth it, right? It's
Okay,
different, demonstrable. Yeah.
right. Yeah, I guess if it were me, I would focus on a few, like, two different KPI right in the beginning. Right, I'm thinking about how many shoppable videos can I get on a weekly basis, and making sure that that's like trending up, obviously, and I'll talk about how to get there. And then I would think about units sold. I think units sold in the listing is what creates the most social proof, similar to like reviews on Amazon. And so I would just be constantly focused on like, okay, get to 1,000 units sold, and then 5,000, then 10,000, like the next like milestone each time. And I think, um, yeah, I would just keep those two, just kind of keeping me or the team just constantly fixated on that. I would say in terms of shoppable videos, then you have like a few different routes, right? One, we're just kind of talking prior to the call, but like, one easy way that's not super difficult is just you use an outreach bot, send out tons of messages, you get sample requests, and then you send the samples and then they fulfill. I think that works. But I think it's a better accelerant for a brand that's already performing versus like as a way of getting out of the cold start. But it does help you start at least getting content and the like that shoppable video, that first KPI going. But like, is that going to really drive the results single handedly? Probably not. But I do think an important thing to keep in mind is that TikTok wants you to basically perform on like in the platform through having more videos posted about that product on a daily or weekly basis. And so having more affiliates and which leads to more pieces of content helps you overall, even if it's not necessarily the best performing content. And why I think that's typically not the best is because you're sending them one sample, and then the only commitment from their side is to do one video. And that means that they're not really testing new hooks. They're not really improving on that content. They're just going to the next sample that they requested and then making a video for them. And then that's just general, right? There's obviously exceptions to that. But the other way that you can get your shoppable video count up is by putting creators on retainer. And so I think, and that's where you can kind of have more of a hybrid strategy. I would be like identifying, okay, of the ones that I sampled, who are the best? You know what I mean? Or who are competitors or comparable products that have similar types of creators and audiences that I can go after? And can I lure them in onto my team to promote for my brand and put them on retainer and whatever, 300, 500, even $1,000 a month, and then get them to do 30 pieces of content per day. Obviously, they're still getting the same or maybe even a slightly higher commission. But I think the valuable thing is if you can get whatever 10 people that are bought into your mission, like excited about working with you and the brand, then you can get them to test a bunch of different hooks. If one video goes viral from an affiliate or from someone else that's on a retainer, you can get, you're paying them. They're like kind of a paid contractor. So you can get them all to recreate that video 5 or 10 times. And because it's already gone viral once, it's so much more likely to now go viral again. And so you take one viral hit and it becomes 5, 10, 15. And then it's so much easier to run ads behind it. It's so much easier to scale your GMV. Basically, you hit this kind of momentum. And generally, that's where I see like where things have moved towards in 2025 is more towards these like creator teams. And I can go further into that if you want, but generally that would be kind of like my initial advice.
Yeah, no, I love it. And it starts by giving out samples. You got to get some momentum. He referred to it as like the cold start, right? Where it's like if you've got a car, you know, in the middle of winter, the old cars, let's consider, right? And you have to like turn the keys a few times, right? To like, all right, it's got to get the cold start going, right? Let's kind of juice the pedal a little bit to see if we can get this thing to turn over. It's the same thing on TikTok Shop. You want to show like, hey, I've already got 100 sales on this product. And then you've got more, it's this perpetual flywheel. We talk about it on Amazon, right? That's like, oh, it's the Amazon flywheel. You get ranked and then sales just beget more sales, and you just keep staying ranked and you keep getting more sales because you're ranked higher. It's the exact same thing that's happening on TikTok Shop, but it's all about how many units did you sell? Then as creators are filtering what products they want to pitch or represent, they're then looking at those and be like, well, I want the better products, right? I want the ones that are actually selling. So then you get more sample requests, right? So I love that strategy. And I love what you talked about in terms of like putting people on retainer and having them just like create more content so that, yes, you give out one sample, but you get 60 pieces of content for that one sample, not just like a one-hit wonder that you're just crossing your finger goes viral. So with that, Fernando, do you see people needing to like buy sales up front? I mean, we're still in the wild west of TikTok Shop, very frowned upon on Amazon now, but you can go purchases on TikTok Shop for your products right now. Do you see that as like a worthwhile strategy, and have you used it?
We've used it a little bit in the past. Yeah, we had done. I don't recommend this today. I've heard of people getting in trouble, but like, yeah, where you drop the price to like $3 for a little bit, and then you purchase 20 at a time on a bunch of different phones, and then you bring the price back up. Yeah, not necessarily recommended advice anymore. I think in the early days you could get away with it. I've heard of people getting in trouble more recently. Yeah, the full price sales. Look, I think if you're a huge brand and you don't really care and you're just trying to move fast, yeah, maybe that's a decent way of getting the social proof. I would probably go a different route, and I would just do like 60% off flash sales, 50% off flash sales until you get that going. I would just try that and constantly be testing different flash deals with different durations on different days with different percentages to see what works. And then just like decrease the discount over time to try to improve your margins. But I think that's going to ultimately lead to better ROI and better signals to the TikTok algorithm versus just kind of forcing like the sales through like a launch service, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I really like that approach. Similar to, it's like the old days of Amazon, like have a really low price. You have a bunch of like the, coupon codes that were like 90% off, right? But different flavor of that, but on TikTok Shop with the flash sales. Because I'd be interested to get your thoughts. If you do that approach and you have people creating videos for you and they're posting them, if it is on flash sale, do you think there's something in the algorithm that like favors those videos for a period of time, and like maybe it helps those creators like actually like make sales, and then obviously they make sales, they want to create more videos for you? Or nobody knows the algorithm, but I'm curious,
Right.
like from your perspective, what have you seen as like, here's things that we can do, we believe we could try to influence the algorithm to benefit us? Like, Any tips or strategies you've seen that way?
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, generally the consensus, right, is more videos per day, shoppable videos, so like tagged with the product is going to perform better, right? Just because it's sending more signal to TikTok saying, hey, this product is like having a moment, like people are talking about it. And so then they're going to push that to more people, and your GMV max will run more efficiently. So, and I don't think there's any like debate around that. And so I think that's like one piece that I'd be really focused on. Um, yeah, I mean, I think my reason for flash deals is yeah, really similar to what you're saying. Is that like is it well one it creates the countdown timer, so then it creates urgency specifically for the potential customer. But then two, like you kind of alluded to this too, is that like now the verse like again thinking about like flash deal versus um yeah, just doing the giveaways through like a launch service is now you're actually building relationships with affiliates, right? Because now they're earning commission even on this like lower price. And then so you can really figure out like, well, who's actually performing and who do I want to start bringing on retainer? So I think that's kind of like the second piece is that like, it's kind of, you're getting more useful insight versus if I just like pay 10K to a launch service and get this many sales. It's like I didn't really learn anything from that. I didn't get any feedback. And then yeah, the last way actually thinking about like units sold. I haven't done this personally because we haven't launched like a product in a while that we're like really focused on. But there is like a strategy where you can do giveaways on a live, and I think that will count as units sold, where samples typically are not don't count. But I have heard of people doing giveaways to customers on a live, and that can help. And so that if I was going to do it in some way, I would tie it in to that. Oh, and then kind of going back to the you were asking about like how to game the algorithm. There is a lot of like game dynamics in terms of lives, which I think is really interesting. And I want to caveat like I don't think you should be really focusing on lives. Actually, I want to clarify. Okay, so if you're doing a live specifically to get your unit sold up in the beginning, and you're willing to trade time for money, like then that's fine. Or if you're just doing this giveaway strategy and trying to get your unit sold up, then that works. But generally, if you're trying to scale revenue through lives, I wouldn't really focus on that because I think that's like the 20 and the 80/20 until you're like doing like over 1,000 shoppable videos a week. And that's what's been shared by like the head of TikTok Shop for Health that we talk to pretty regularly too. But anyways, so yeah, I would think about sorry, going back to like the live strategy. But yeah, I think the algorithm for lives is interesting where you want to send a ton of signal at the beginning of the live. And so people will do those kind of giveaways or like, hey, when we hit 10 people or 10 viewers, we're going to do this kind of giveaway. And they kind of start with this like, or like the first, whatever, 20 people are going to get this for free or this bonus or whatever. But they're basically trying to get viewers to engage with it, engage with the live and to share it to other people. And then by sending those early signals, then you're going to get more visibility on that live. And so that's another, like, I guess, kind of gamification, if you will. But yeah, those are the ones that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, I love that. And I like the live strategy as well because you're deepening a relationship with a creator at the same time. And that's something that we've learned too, is like a lot of the creators are like, hey, can I get these giveaway units? Can I get a specific promotion code just for my lives? Right. And so anything you can do that way, all ultimately, this all just comes down to relationships. Do you want to win on TikTok Shop? Get really, really good at relationships.